Okay, so here we have a radical equation with radicals on both sides. So the first step is to square both sides. So let's focus on the left-hand side first. So here we can either use a pattern for a square of a binomial, or we can use the FOIL method, where we write the binomial twice and then we FOIL. So I'm going to go with that first. So we are writing the binomial twice, and now we will be able to FOIL. So if we start with distributing the first term to the second parentheses, 3 times 3 will give us 9. And then 3 times radical z minus 3 is just 3 radical z minus 3. And now we have to distribute the second term in the first parentheses to the second parentheses, and we will end up with 3 radical z minus 3 plus, and now radical z minus 3 times radical z minus 3 becomes just z minus 3. Okay, and now if we continue with this side, we have 2 like terms in here with the radicals. 3 radical z minus 3 and another 3 radical z minus 3. That's 6 radical z minus 3. And also 9 and negative 3 is 6. And then we have z left. And on the right hand side, if we square a negative term, we will end up with something positive. And then if we square square root of z plus 12, we just end up with z plus 12 on this side. And now our goal is to continue to solve this equation, but to isolate just this radical. So we would want to subtract 6 from both sides and subtract z from both sides. So here, the 6 cancels out, the z cancels out, here also the z cancels out, and we are left with 6 radical z minus 3 equals 6. And to isolate that radical, just divide both sides by 3, and we end up with z minus 3 equals 1. And again, we would have to square both sides, and we are left with z minus 3 is 1. And to solve that, we add 3 to both sides, and we end up with z is 4. Now with these radical equations, we can't assume that this is our answer. We have to take it and substitute into the original equation and make sure that the left-hand side equals right-hand side. If that's true, 4 is our solution. If not, this equation will not have any solutions.